Hello all and welcome. This is Dice of Ages presenting CrestVahllen, Fae and Fates. We have our campaign name now, so we're going to go with that. Great. I'm your not-so-humble game master, TJ, and I have the distinct pleasure of joining me at the table. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alex. I play a halfling monk, and we make potions. Yeah, we make potions up in here.
I am Adam. I play a sea elf mage, spellcaster. I have a new story for my bardic repertoire. And I didn't have to go first today.
I'm Mal. I'm playing Len, and he is a edgy guy that likes to run around in the mud in the forest.
I'm Theo. I play a little gobby boy who likes to cast some spells.
Hi, I'm Rhiannon. I'm playing Mavroon Urielor, who is in charge of this campaign, whether anyone likes it or not, and also everyone else is following her. The end.
Cool. I'm not going to catch you next time you fall down a cliff.
Wait. Oh, right. Okay, wait.
You're on your own, right?
You're on my good side.
You're good now? You're good?
You're on my good side, you're on my good side, and you're a goblin.
A new setup, lots of new cameras. Microphones are all set up in a different way. We got new tables, the whole thing. We're trying to make it look nice and professional. I wanted to do a big shout out. Thank you to Adam and Noel for spending an ungodly amount of time, patience, and stuff for their own wall to help make this happen. So please, thank you very much. And then, great. So without further ado, we're going to get into it and pick up from where we left off next time. You guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Great. So we're going to do a little bit of a recap then as we pull up our notes from last time. Okay. So, after parting with Pleased to Meet You on the evening of the 28th of Highlock, the team find a place to bed down for the evening. Pip and those with elven blood, excluding the guide, plan on conducting an experiment in the cairns to determine the nature of these anachronistic dreams. Once again, both Maeve and Len have strange visions in their sleep, with Bastion noting that Maeve is truly sleeping and not trancing, something not natural for an elf. As Bast lays down, however... I don't know why this is so loud. That shouldn't be this loud. I don't know why it was that loud. That's not how I set that up, but okay. As Bast lays down, however... Oh, shoot, I lost my spot.
Start from the top.
Yeah, we're going to start that over. And I wonder why this is not working the way I had it set up.
Please, because I don't want to have to try and
We'll fix it.
cut that out.
Yeah.
Mid-sentence.
Let me just check. So, new stream deck, so we're trying to figure that out too. You can just edit this out. I don't know why I did that. Sunboard play, drop volume, drop.
Just edit all of it.
Edit all of it.
Butts.
I didn't want to have to try and splice together his
There we
his
go.
recap.
That's why. You little bitch. Got you. Boom. Got you. You weren't set as 15 in the beginning. Or no, you were. Wait, so why didn't you work?
We found out that if you can use if then that with the stream deck, so you can automate all kinds of things with just button presses.
Cool.
Back there. So lights, like he can set lighting scenes and just press a button, and the lighting app connects through if this then that, and it'll reset the lights, camera settings, all kinds of
That's
stuff.
really cool.
All
Do you
right,
just
now
use
it's
built-in
working.
apps, or is it?
Yeah, APIs, different
cool.
plugins.
I'm kind of curious.
Okay.
I have one myself, and I'm not sure what I can all do with it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, you can fade me into the recap pickup. After parting with Pleased to Meet You on the evening of the 28th of Hylock, the team find a place to bed down for the evening. Pip and those with elven blood, excluding the guide, plan on conducting an experiment in the cairns to determine the nature of these anachronistic dreams. Once again, both Maeve and Len have strange visions in their sleep, with Bastion noting that Maeve is truly sleeping, not trancing, something not natural for an elf. As Bast lays down, however, nothing out of the ordinary occurs. Concurrently, Pip, though feeling some slight strangeness through a bit of flashback, is spared a similar experience. Using the landmarks in his dream, Len leads the group to a rod of wrought iron, wrought iron lodged within an old stone and tree that his dream persona buried nearby. Oh my god. Through some effort, the gang relinquished the rod from its confinement, providing the party with a potent weapon against Fae. The band get a slightly late start to the 29th of Hylock after their treasure hunt, setting out for their 4th day of travel north along the high road. At just around midday, a familiar strange fog begins to engulf the area surrounding the travelers, severely impeding vision. Large ground-shaking footfalls alert the troop to the approach of something very large. Diving off the side of the road into hiding, many of the group begin to slide down the hill, preparing for anything. Pip and Bast hide near the road as Bast plays a hopeful tune. An enormous, multi-legged, wood-like beast stomps its hoof just before the pale blue elf, shaking him to the ground. The obstreperous water boy continues in a musical call and response with the creature, eventually being addressed by the rider of the gigantic steed. Cavendish and his companion Dunsik, a Bahostra, are introduced and begin a friendly conversation with the relieved adventurers. The party learn that these Fae do their best to stay out of the squabbles of the courts and spend their time ushering the lost to where they're meant to be. Being offered the ride, the group quickly accepts and are ushered through the fog upon the mossy plated back of the Dunsik. The new, long-bearded, cycloptic friend Cavendish relays some stories about the Fae courts, while exchanging some tales and offering gifts. The friendly Bahostra ferries them to a fair distance, and then the two conversely sized wanderers part ways with the party just outside the town of TàmTalah, just as the sun is setting. Now, welcome back to CrestVahllen. I can't believe I got that right.
Am I now Water Boy? Is that my new?
I had to come up with
descriptor?
something to call it.
Oh.
Because when you send me the recaps, you refer to yourself a lot, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
too many
no,
times.
Because I'm taking my notes from my point of
Yeah, I
view.
know.
So, unfortunately, my recaps are going to be me-centric.
No.
I apologize.
That's your new character, like race. Water boy.
Water boy.
I'm not a sea elf. I'm a water boy.
That's some high quality H2O.
Now you're Shark Boy.
Shark
Moist
boy. I
critter.
am Shark Boy.
Lava Girl.
I just need to find a lava girl, and
Yeah.
I will be complete.
Shark boy and blood boy. Shark.
Lava girl.
I know it was lava girl, but I'm trying to think of a name for Maeve.
Wait, no, that'd be Len.
Or Len.
Blood
I
boy.
know. Blood boy, water boy, and ear girl.
Oh wait, is that my only?
An arrow girl.
That's my only defining characteristic.
Arrow girl.
Obviously.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about it.
Oh,
We'll
it doesn't
figure
matter.
out. I don't have a good one. I thought I had a good one, but I don't.
Honestly, with this party makeup and
Anyway,
Girl.
So as the the dulcet color tones of the sunset begins to dance across the leaves of the grasses and the shrubs of the cairn fields and glisten upon the evening dew of the thrackled yards on both sides of you, you have made a lot of progress, a lot more than you could have in the how many days that you were supposed to take another 3 or 4 days before you arriving here. But with the help of your much larger steed, which is not really a steed as much as some sort of odd fey creature, this Bahostra, you were able to close a lengthy distance rather quickly. I will also say that while you were above this thing, you were decently higher up than the road is, so you were able to get a better lay of the land. The cairn fields go on for miles and miles and miles and miles, often to the distance of the horizon until it ends, as do the thrackled yards. You notice how many trees have been cut down from the thrackled yards? So much so that it would take years and years and years to actually cut down these trees. Even if it was conventional. Yeah,
If it's a horde of constructs,
it's possible.
cutting 24 hours a day.
But it literally goes off until
Yeah.
the horizon. So even with that, meaning that
Because we met the
some of these
sawbots,
stumps have been here for a
essentially.
while, and some of them are beginning to regrow or
Yeah.
have new growth on them. So you can see like a stump and then like a small sapling growing from the stump around the area. It seems that it's happening more the farther you go north. Is what you notice. That these are it's been longer since these were touched.
So,
yes.
what do y'all think? I know as much as some of you probably want a soft bed to sleep in.
That would be nice.
From my experience, villagers don't like people approaching in the darkness. Kind of sets them on edge. So, we camp out here, or do we push forward and potentially spook some folk?
How big a village is it again?
It is just that. As far as you know, I don't think any of you have actually been here. It is not, you won't know until you actually go there. But
It was on our map, so it's
as far as it's on your
significant
map-
enough to.
Yes. So the iconography on your map show the same type of iconography as they did for Balmoral, as far as probably some sort of small village or town that is.
So dozens, but not hundreds.
You'll find out when you get there. But as far as what's the iconography on there, the architecture seems to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Subsidized by the ancient elven buildings. Like it's been extrapolated upon ancient elven buildings.
Okay.
Like ruins have been built further upon to create a livable situation.
All the cities we've come across have been like that.
Yes, all of them have been. More that I will say that Quasmont has more contemporary construction than it does ancient construction, just because it's a larger city and like however many ruins survived, or just however many ruins survive.
Humans are very opportunistic.
Well, it was the cherry mostly that were using the ruins, so that's
Yeah, but
closer to our folk than human.
shush.
But I mean, our folk using our folks' ruins is appropriate.
Fair.
All that aside, I think we would be better off approaching when the sun rises.
Okay, you guys want to camp out somewhere?
Yeah.
All right. The guide is still with you, silent as ever, just making sure
I mean,
you guys are heading in
sir,
the right direction.
You saw us here. That was your job, right? You got folk to catch up with.
They look behind them. They look toward where like the possibility of TàmTalah is supposed to be, and they look.
We saw the village from Dunsick's back. Yes.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's within visual range.
Yeah. I mean, I would say as best as you could see, like Denver from up on the hill over there. Where it's like it's
Smoke rising from the trees.
yeah,
and-
something like that. Yeah, you could maybe every once in a while a speck of out of focus building, but you do see some sort of settlement there.
If Johanna says you got to see us all the way, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if in the morning you want to head your own way, I'm fine with that. I don't know about the rest of y'all. He's got people to catch up with if he wants to find his way to the other side of the Flamewood.
They pull out what is a parcel that they keep with them, and then they set it up next to them when they bed down, like to brush their teeth or keep the like toiletries and stuff like that. Saying in a gesture that's like, I'll sleep with you tonight and then I'll head out in the morning.
Fair enough. I'll take first watch again.
Where do you guys want to go? You want to go to Thrackle Yards? You want to be on the side of the road? You want to go down to the Cairn Fields?
Oh, we still by the Karens?
You're still on the road. They're still both on
fair.
either side. I mean, it goes as far north until it's taken over by the forest that is at the foots of the Mur des Ancêtres, which is like the mountain/hill range that surrounds the entire Shalian Cradle.
Since I didn't see anything, I'd planned on giving it one more shot tonight, but
Hey, Len, did you want to try it again?
I'm assuming the guide is setting up on the side of the road like normal.
'Cause I think I've seen about what I need to.
I was going to say if you were going to, then I guess I would as well. But if not, I'll Perhaps we can stay by the river instead.
Plus, apparently, I snore, so I'm not doing it again.
Is the cliff down to the river, is that any shallower here? Like, are we coming back down in altitude, or is
I
it
would
still
s-
just as steep? And
I would say like the road has pretty much remained the same altitude. The either sides have started to rise up to begin to meet with the Mir Dizon Cetra at the altitude, because it starts to rise up until like a
we are
mountainous
getting
hillish
close
range.
to the foothills
Because you're
again,
getting
aren't we?
you're going straight. Like
Yeah.
TàmTalah is very near the foothills of the Mir Dizon Cetra. So yeah, it's like kind of nestled right up in there. So yeah, like the rest of the geography is starting to rise up. So the highness of the high road is becoming less. So
y'all don't have to join me, but I for sure was going to give it one last shot.
I can join you.
Okay.
I for sure will not.
Pickleball, wake us up if anything weird happens. Pickleball just like sits,
yeah,
pull boots out.
see them shift a little bit and just hear the squeak of like rubber on rubber with their new rain boots.
Oh yeah.
Coat.
Cavendish gave him new boots. Or no, it was a new cloak.
He's got a yellow raincoat and yellow rain boots. So every time he moves, it just it's just that squeaky rubbery sound, rubber on rubber.
I like him
Whatever.
slightly more though. He matches.
No, he has blue. They're blue.
You got blue boots and a yellow raincoat, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
Just the cutest little
No,
thing.
you're not.
No, I'm not.
I still want to pet it.
So I'll take first watch.
Dollar store Sonic.
Yo.
Sure.
Mabe take second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Everybody beds down for the evening. You taking first watch, go ahead and roll perception. You can have Pickleball do it as well.
What is Pickleball's stats?
9.
Wait, Pickleball has advantage.
I think it's for like smell and hearing or something like that, right?
No,
Or
it's sight and
Smell and
sight
hearing
and
is
smell, I think
us.
it is. Yeah,
has keen hearing and sight.
hearing and sight. Yeah. Do they have dark vision?
They have blind sight and dark vision.
All right, like blind sight up to like 10 feet though, right?
No, 40 feet dark blind sight, 5 feet dark vision.
Ooh.
Right, because their vision is horrible. They right. Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And well, it was 16.
16. Okay, cool. Bast, you are. I think you're probably a little anxious, like excited to go to sleep to see what happens. Pickleball. So you're not really paying too much attention. Pickleball, I'll say.
Well, I told Pickleball to watch me and wake me up if anything weird is happening.
Okay, so Pickleball's not keeping an eye out, more just like watching you.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes things. Okay. Pickleball doesn't wake you up. You finish your watch. You're on the road, right?
Yeah, I'm sleeping. I'm somewhere.
Okay, you're good. You're asleep. Those of you who are sleeping down in there with Fey lineage, please roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Our guide is like elf
He's
or
up
half
on the
elf?
road.
Ooh.
They're up on the road. What's up?
Are they elf or half
Were you
elf?
down
Or...
in the
They're,
canyons, or were you up on
They
the road?
are of.
Because you were sleeping up on the road, right?
I'm just wondering if they're asleep
Okay.
or if they're trancing or if
Pip
they're
and I are the
awake.
only ones camping.
What
down
was?
there.
What did I call them?
If,
Yeah.
or you,
in that
They're
case,
like part
yeah,
of the
I'll be
the
down there.
cherry. They're cherry.
Mhm.
So they're
wood elf.
yes, wood elf.
Okay.
They're nature elf,
Forest elf.
forest elf.
Just wondering if they're asleep, if that matters. With
Oh,
or
they're
trancing.
full elf, so they trance as well.
Okay.
But they do so in like a sleeping position. Because they prefer to keep themselves camouflaged when they're doing so. What'd you guys get?
13.
You want me to do
You're
it?
down there, right? You have Fey lineage. Ah, God damn it. Oh, you have the thingy. Yeah.
Wisdom save?
Yeah, please and thank you. Unless you want to willingly fail it.
That's a 1, so I failed anyways.
Oh, okay.
That's the second one on
What'd
that
you
die.
get, Mally?
We're not sleeping down there.
Oh, you're not sleeping down there? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What'd you get?
13.
13. Okay. Okay, so here's what happens. Bast, you drift off into the deepest trance you could possibly. You dig your little hole, you fill it with some water, you lay in the mud, and Maeve, you get a little bit of reciprocity as you see that Bass is fully drooling like out of his mouth. Except he's not like drooling like the consistency of mellifluous saliva. It's just like seawater, just pouring out of his mouth in like a steady little tiny waterfall, like filling up the little pond that he's made for himself. But he's out. Rather than snoring, he's though just drooling a lot. Cool. He is dead ass asleep. Pip. You do you starfish when does Pip starfish when he sleeps?
Pip, when they sleep, they like curl up and they like do the dog thing where they
Okay.
like circle and then they curl up in a little ball.
Okay, cool. You see Pip, Maeve, you see Pip do that. Well, I guess you saw Pip do that, but Maeve, you see when like they had done that and everything, and then at some point just spread and has, which is different. And you see them like doing that little dog twitch thing. So both of you enter this anachronistic vision. I want to say that Bast, you find yourself in the dream persona of an individual. This individual, usually when you touch others, they feel really warm to you because you're used to a little bit the colder temperatures of the sea. Granted, you're more used to a little bit more warmer, shallower things, but you can be there with the best of them when it comes to deep, cold water. When you're in this individual, you feel cold. Like you feel colder than you've ever felt. Pip, you have this odd. You don't have a vision as if you're looking through somebody's eyes. You're almost like a disembodied spectator, just kind of floating there. Not the creature. The definition of the noun. That is. So your vision is kind of like blurred, and on the edges of the peripherals of your vision, it kind of like is. You feel this like pressure of kind of floating in and folding in on itself of some type of like green. Ambiance that feels like it's kind of like pulling you out, or you're looking through binoculars. You feel almost wispy, ethereal, spirit-esh. You can't. If you try to look down or have any control, you don't see anything. There's just nothing there. You're just an observer and a watcher. You're just there. Entering the scene along these densely forested woods. You see an individual, an injured elven individual, or like I had mentioned before, the link between old, ancient, like precursor elves and what we now consider elves, with the exaggerated features, but not as much as we've seen from the other courts that have come through the Fae. From all accounts, appear to be the same type or species or missing link that Maeve and Len have embodied in their dream personas. However, this one has pale flesh, almost stark white. What they wear around them looks like some sort of bear pelts or thick hide pelts. It doesn't fit this this environment at all. It's more like sticky and tropical. As they step and they continue on the ground of dirt and sand and grasses, you can see and hear the dew that they step upon solidify and become that cracking of ice sound as things become colder and colder and colder. Something tells you this is Fae. This is an elf, but you haven't seen one like this before. Bast, you are walking along this as well. Imagine you are like the third-person camera in a video game, Pip, in this way, and you are actually in the first-person camera. You continue walking along. This individual stops for a moment, looks behind them. No other elven individuals. They look in front of them. No other elven individuals. They reach into a sack that they have on their belt, and they pull out what looks to be some type of gold chainmail, like mitten. But it appears to be some other alloy, not quite bronze, not copper, not gold, just something else, just some sort of like mitten that sometimes you would see, and it's like lined with fabric too. So it's like metallic fabric. So some things that you might see a blacksmith or somebody that works in a hot oven or like a forge master or a cook to use, some sort of heat resistant material. And then they reach into their sleeve that hangs down, and then pulls out what looks like another rod of cold iron. They hold it in their hands before looking around and then putting it back. They continue forward before then entering a clearing where they see a bunch of these other individuals. Now of more of the ones that Maeve and Len have seen before, like a little bit more generic, nothing too stark as your persona has been described. One waves at you and you come over. Many injured people here. You have a bit of a limp, appears from an old injury, but not too old. There are some bandages there that have been almost. If you didn't know better, they look almost frostbitten, but it's not because you don't feel the numbness. You can feel all of it, and it's.
You said he saw the dew sort of icing over?
Yeah, Pip did.
Am I leaving like icy footprints behind me kind of thing?
Barely. Yeah, you are, but they thaw almost
Pretty
immediately
quickly.
afterward.
Okay.
They're pretty quickly. You maybe like 2 are only there if you're working at a regular gait pace, and then they
Yeah.
thaw pretty quickly.
Cool.
Almost just your ambient body temperature is because of what's causing this to happen, and then it quickly thaws in this climate. You do so. A bunch of them are sitting down. Looks like they are taking a rest, having what little food that they have, and redressing some wounds. At looking around, you are one of the only ones. Actually, you look around. You don't notice. Your dream persona doesn't notice any other individuals of the same kind of stark white complexion as yours. One of the individuals that waved you over says in Sylvan, perfect, that you just automatically translate. Do you like your constitutional? Your persona doesn't speak. They just nod. Then they lean in closer. Is it safe? They nod. They lean back. When we arrive, when everyone's guard is down, for the bloom. And then your persona says, in a deep voice that sounds like the shifting of sleet and snow, for the bloom. And then you get pulled out. You wake up, wet all over your face. You were fully asleep. Everybody gets a long rest. It is the 30th of Hylock, if I'm not incorrect.
Correct.
You guys got up early. The sun is... there's a bit of a mist in the air. Nothing too abnormal for the area, but nothing like when the veil is thin and things come through. Just a bit of a morning mist. The more yellowish colors of the rising sun start to fill the space as the shadows of the road are cast upon you. The first one up is the guide. The guide is standing there, packed, ready to go, but is waiting for all you to awake so they can give you a proper send-off. As you all begin to muster, the guide stands there.
I will gift him an antler necklace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thank you for accompanying us.
They give you a quizzical look for just a moment, the briefest of moments before they have like a realization of like, oh, it's a gift, and they move down a little bit before they reach in and grab it and nod their head.
I hope you have safe travels ahead of you, and you find your kin again.
They nod and they affix it to like a lanyard that has a couple other things attached to it on the side, as it jingles and clinks with a couple of other like teeth and other wooden bits.
Maeve goes up to the guide as well. Thank you, Trance Buddy. It was fun last night. This was like, we bonded over everything, and it's just they didn't. She just wants to make some kind of connection with this person who she hasn't spoken to at all this entire time. Just because, you know.
They're just staring at you and slowly nodding.
Yeah, see, they agree. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Alistair walks up to our guide with a hearty smile and a firm handshake, wishes him well.
They look at your hand and they reach out their hand and you squeeze it and you're like, I'm so tired. And they squeeze it back with surprising strength. And they look a little worried, but they also look a little forlorn. So eventually they just bow one last time before they dash and slide down.
Bye, Fred.
They wave behind them as they're sliding down the hill towards the Thrackled Yards, and just with a single, like, 2 bound, just skip on top of the water over the river and into the Thrackled Yards.
Watch out for those saw blade dinghies.
As they disappear into the underbrush of what's left of the underbrush into the Thrackled Yards.
I'm sure they'll be fine. They were a wonderful guide. I say with the most sarcasm possible.
Just a question. Do you guys remember any of the other Fae talking about a bloom? Like as a group? The bloom?
The bloom?
I did see one of y'all's visions, but I think it was different.
Lynn, did they really speak in either of our dreams?
I don't really recall something like the bloom.
I heard the bloom too. I saw something. It was like through binoculars.
Did you see
What'd you see?
I
someone
saw,
who was really cold?
Yeah, like a really pale,
Pale?
dude. And he
Yeah.
left ice behind, and then the ice melted.
That was the one I was seeing through.
Ooh, chilly.
So what is the bloom? What's the significance of that?
Len, you can roll a history check if you like.
Can I roll a history check?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that might be something that might have been carried down through some like, folklore tales.
17.
Can I roll as well?
You can. Your DC is higher because I don't think you paid as much attention during class as Len did. Len had to pay attention.
I think
and it was part of his actual training.
I think they were an enemy of the group you all were seeing earlier. From context I got, I think he was there to harm them.
Len, what'd you get?
17.
17. Pip.
18.
Awesome.
18.
18. Okay. Cool. That's all a success. Maybe you're just going to get some different information. So you actually, each one of you get, like, it's a success. You guys get some information. You're just all going to get some different information. Len, studying the creatures of other realms. And, you know, as is your prerogative under, you know what, there are creatures of other realms in the Fae Moors that sometimes leak through, and one of the things that you learn about is like, okay, yeah, there's the 4 courts, so the 4 seasonal courts: the autumn court, the winter court, the summer court, the spring court. one of the things that pops into your head, and the only reason why you remember this specifically is because it's just kind of just another name for the summer court, is they refer to themselves like as the Bloom. Just as like, whether it be the hierarchy of who in charge or whatever, they just refer to this collective, like their collective goals or the collective as a court as the Bloom. So when they say it's for the Bloom, it's like for the summer court, that kind
So
of
it's
thing.
just the summer court.
Yeah, for the summer court. You get a little bit more different information. You remember the Bloom as being told from folklores from your instructor and by other tales. Fae do sometimes leak through, and as far as them being from certain courts, really wasn't. They didn't really care that much because they just had to know, is it dangerous or is it not dangerous? If it's not dangerous, it's best just leave it alone. If it's dangerous, still better just leave it alone, and just give it a wide berth. One of the things that you remember is that one of the most dangerous things that you were taught are creatures that are branded with a blossoming flower. Now, this looks like an actual brand, something that was not burned and grown into it, but actually grown into these creatures, as if when these creatures were younger, had a seed put subdermally into the ground that then sprouted at their roots around, and then was removed later to reveal this type of scar of this perfect bloom upon their form. And you know that whenever you see that, which was kind of synonymous with the bloom, your mentor also called it the bloom, is to stay the fuck away, because those things appeared to have, I don't want to say more intelligence, but I want to say a trained capacity for martial acuity. If that means, like, rather than them just being feral, it looks like they were trained for, it seems like they were trained or conditioned for combat. So they could react in a way that you would not be able to predict. You, the bloom, couple things. The bloom in your circles was an old archaic term that was referred to as those that had grace and cunning and beauty, that moved through a way and was synonymous with the times, with the seasons of summer, and those that were what were called, oh, they have such a bloom about them, was just that, beauty, grace, and wit. Now, with an 18, you also understand that probably is a term that changed and transformed over the while, and it could possibly have some connection to some of the ancestry of the elves dating back to possibly the summer court, and people, just like how some terms change over the ages. The bloom had become synonymous with those types of qualities. That's it.
The bloom. That sounds lovely.
It's just the summer court.
Yeah.
No, it's like the dangerous stuff.
I mean, we've already established quite well at the fair.
No, it's like the super dangerous stuff. Like if they have the bloom on them, it means that you don't touch them.
I mean, they already are pretty super
No, like
dangerous,
this.
as
Oh my god. So it's like the difference between like a tiger and a three-headed tiger. You don't touch.
Tiger and a three-headed
Yeah, you
tiger
don't
are
touch the
pretty
tiger, but you don't touch the three-headed tiger.
That is
like,
like,
I'm
I'm
not
not
seeing
seeing
a
a distinction here.
How often
So-
do you encounter three-headed tigers?
A lot.
So it's like
Conception.
It's like a wild dog versus a hunting dog.
it's like the,
I would say you probably in your dreams.
it's like the summer court's special fighters, like the special forces.
11.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
They're
Kinda doesn't
graceful.
make sense, because like the one I was seeing in was like as cold as it gets. Seems like that's as far away from summer as you could be, but
Well,
he was
there-
doing something for them.
for the bloom. Well, what does he say was for the bloom? I was in the dream too.
He had one of those iron rods up his sleeve,
So that might have been for the bloom.
so that super icy dude was gonna whack some folks for the bloom.
Maybe.
I'm glad I didn't sleep again. I didn't want to get beat up by Lynn for a second time.
No one got beat up.
Not in
He
this
stabbed me.
I didn't mean to.
Anyway,
Could be worse.
So
You get beat up in real life.
there's that.
Yes, that would be a shame if that were to happen again.
Yep.
I'm sure this is somehow related to the whole Sealy unsealy war they had going on.
Well, Cavendish said the summer court was gone. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I think I made a correction at some point. Is that the summer and the spring and the autumn court are extinct, all but extinct. They were the Sealy courts. They were the ones that were exterminated by the summer and the winter courts.
So it's opposite seasons are together.
The unsealy, or what now is referred to as the unsealy, are the summer and the winter courts. Granted, what you encountered, I believe, if I remember correctly, that general with those fairies identified themselves as part of the summer court, because they said you can join my court, the summer court. Remember when during the siege of Quasmont?
They made a very persuasive offer.
So, very cold dude sounds like winter court.
Yes.
But
Maybe is
Working
like
working with the other
working with-
unsealy.
working
That does
with-
make sense.
I will say during your dream, what you noticed among the individuals is that it appeared to be kind of a smattering of everyone there. But you appeared, from what you could tell, you were the only one with such a pale complexion.
Yep.
They looked like refugees fleeing from something.
Well, it did seem like they were about to get to some place, so maybe we'll find more answers in town.
I do have a question. Did anyone else get a name? Did anyone get any names in the dreams?
There were no names.
No names. Okay.
I was by myself for most of it, and when I got to the group, nobody said a name.
Okay. Just wanted to see if there was anything we could cross-reference.
They asked me if I had had a good sabbatical.
Sabbatical. Oh, I haven't had one of those in years.
Constitutional. Time off. But that's...
That can sometimes be just a walk, guys. It doesn't always mean poop.
I was not thinking.
Does now.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, it's been so long since I've had a nice constitutional.
Well, let's go meet us some new folk.
Okay.
Great. So if you guys want to continue along the road, then eventually, I'm not even going to bother too much with the travel there. It takes very little time. Let's say maybe an hour or two before you start to see the beginnings of the town. I want everybody to roll. I want everybody to roll a perception check as you guys are approaching TàmTalah. Yes. Yes, you get the advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we're walking, can I telepath Kasiksi a little bit?
What?
Did you see anything last night while I was out?
Your foolish face leaking.
So you didn't go along with me?
I didn't drool as well.
Alrighty then.
I don't drool. I devour.
He drills so much, right? And snores.
You snore, he drools.
No, he definitely did both.
I'm not sure.
Then you must be misremembering.
Telepathic conversation.
Yeah, I was telepathing.
Oh, I don't care.
Telepathic sliding.
Sheer force of will.
By sheer force of will, I break the fourth
She just
barrier.
really wants to be catty, okay?
I mean, I would say that Kasiksi, like, when you start talking to him telepathically, will transform
Fair
his
enough.
head and
Yep.
he'll just stare at you. But yeah. Cool. That's it then. You guys get closer to TàmTalah. Perception checks, yes.
17.
17.
23.
23.
25.
25.
24 with a nat 20.
Oh!
17. I can't live up to
17.
this.
All of you guys do great job. Okay, cool. So, those of you who've got under 20, all of you hear what sounds like a blood-curdling scream come from the direction of TàmTalah, and then followed by like 3 other distinctive screams.
Cool.
I was gonna say as I was entering if I could use primeval, my awareness.
Sure.
Since
Yes.
aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, undead.
You got it. I'll get to that in a moment. Those of you that have 20 and above, I want you to roll an insight check as well.
Oh no. Another
Oh.
20.
Nice.
Rolling hot.
23.
23.
17.
17.
24.
24. Okay, so all of you recognize that, especially you, Pip, you've heard this scream before. This is when somebody's so frustrated at something that they just have to fucking scream and let it out. These all sound like screams of not like horror terror and like, oh my God, I'm in danger, and more like, I'm so gosh darn frustrated that I can't do anything but scream. And they like do that thing where you get really angry and you just scream and you do it a couple times, then afterward you realize that you've kind of damaged your voice.
You've used up all of your luck for the game.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you recognize this as.
Doesn't seem like there's danger up there, but
Yep.
that's not
Your awareness, your natural awareness. You, how far? A mile?
A mile. I'll do it. I can do up to 6 miles, but a mile.
A mile?
I'll do a mile.
You sense Fae. You sense undead. And you sense Fae and undead.
Okay, noted. Alright, then yeah, when we hear this like scream of frustration, we'll just mosey on over, see what's happening.
Sure. You guys continue towards the town. There are no walls to this town. It's more of a village than it is a town, but it's kind of looks like it's trying to become a town. Like some buildings are trying to be. Go ahead.
While I'm on my way there, do I get like what do I see of like the townsfolk? Like, are they just kind of walking around, going about their business?
At the moment, you don't see any townsfolk.
So just see no one outside.
No, not yet. Either the very few buildings that you can see so far are kind of blocking your vision because it's not just a road that goes to the center of town and then a marketplace. It seems to be more like non-planned. There's no city planning committee that created this. They just put buildings wherever they could. So or wherever those elven building ruins were. So there's like one or two buildings that are kind of blocking your vision further into it, but you don't see any people think. But you do notice is that the ground that now has become almost level with the road on either side appears to be like filled with a bunch of potholes. Like, I don't want to say some freshly, some not so freshly dug holes. I want to say maybe a foot to 2 feet deep and maybe a foot to 2 feet in diameter.
Just in the road?
Just anywhere but the road, on either sides of the road, like leading up to the town. There's quite a few of them. Like,
is there anything in any of them?
like shovel dug,
Yeah, like
or
shovel-
like
shovel
crater?
or hand dug.
Okay.
Like they're just something, nothing too deep. Anything from just like a small hole to ones that are like 2 feet by 2 feet. But yeah, just and they just like are mounded next to them. Just the dirt that's next to them are pulled out all around it. Nothing you can look in there. They're just holes.
Someone's
end at somewhere,
searching
just
for
end at
something.
Yeah,
dome.
somebody looking for buried treasure.
Or a buried iron rod.
Some look half reburied, some don't.
Like they just kick the dirt back into the.
Yeah, it looks like whatever. Like you can see that there are traces of someone walking through them and then walking back out, and they're all leading from and to the town.
Okay, just one more thing. Like, how loose do they seem? Like when someone digs a hole with a shovel, it's like
Sure.
it's kind of like thick, like it's not super like
More compact soil.
Yeah,
Sure.
but when something like rips it out of the ground, like with claws or whatever, or something, it's gonna be a little less like compact.
I would say most of these look like they were dug in softer soil, something that could have been capable with your nature person thing. You'd be able to tell that you're good with nature. You'd be able to tell immediately that these looks like they were dug probably by hand or with a very easily accessible tool that was just grabbed on the way out or something like that. Nobody. It doesn't look like the pains were taken to pick a particular spot. It was just soft soil that could be unearthed easily.
Do we get the sense that these were dug by like children in prison outfits?
Holes. Is there a Shia LaBeouf?
I don't
around the
know how
corner?
you would get that sense. So I'm gonna say I don't think you get that sense because I don't know how you would.
Halflings in
Gotcha.
orange.
Yeah, roll an
jumpsuits.
insight check on the whole.
Roll for Shia LaBeouf.
Well, this is definitely a hole in the ground.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. None of them deep enough to actually have put a person in, or have even like this. Even Pip would not be able to like curl up in one. They're not that big.
Aw.
A civilized person and Pip.
What do we do with that rod?
I have it.
You got it, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
ain't
on my
touching it.
quarterstaff.
Oh yeah, it's out and open. That's right.
So that's what you see. That's what you notice. As you start to get closer now, moving past these like fields of potholes that appear to go on for like quite a bit, and they go right up to the edge of the town. You start to see a couple people moving about.
I'm gonna pull out my horn and I'm gonna play a little fanfare. Like quietly.
Okay, you play a quiet fanfare. About like 4 seconds into the fanfare, you hear somebody say, "Cut that racket out!"
Not everybody has to be fanned. That's fair.
You just hear like somebody open the shutters and screamed out and close the shutters again.
You can try that again next time.
Didn't want to startle them by appearing in the middle of their village, but
Not everyone appreciates the arts. And so
You do see a
Alright.
couple people moving about, Len, as because you were trying to keep an eye out for people. There a few people cross your paths. One person looks and like, "Oh, great! Now we have more people!" And they just kind of like scurry off to do what it is they're doing. They look like they've got barrels of water.
I'm gonna like stop him as he's scurrying off. I'm gonna ask him like, "Excuse me, could you tell me what the deal is?
You are not excused.
Tell me what the deal is with all these holes in the ground."
What? That's what you're worried about right now?
Are you gonna tell me?
I have to get bread baked by 8 a.m. And that's what you're worried about?
You could be gone by now if you just told me.
Unbelievable. And they just walk off.
Hey, Len,
Yeah.
this town doesn't have walls, which means they're not defending against anything, which bodes well.
or they already lost.
Either way, might be able to find a bed.
I think from here on out I'll allow you to do the talking instead.
Excellent. Is there any more? Are there any more little villagers?
There's a couple people moving about. Everyone appears to be in like
there.
somewhat of a purposeful, like they're moving with a purpose.
It's early morning. You're not awake unless you got something to do.
Yeah. Like people moving about. Some what appears to be some very basic market stuff is starting to get set up. Some of the people gathering water, supplies, moving things from one place to the other. I will say what you notice is that almost everybody's brow is furrowed.
Did you tell us what you sensed, Len?
It's undead about. Fae, as you would expect as well.
It doesn't count you, right?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I think we wanted it to at one point, but it didn't make sense for him to not have control over his own senses. So
Do any of these folk look obviously Fae? Like, do they look like the Unseelie?
I mean, there's a smattering as far as like their persuasions and their races. There's a smattering of like half Fae creatures like half elves and other stuff like that. There's
No,
a
like
decent amount of-
buggy ones.
No like chitinous creatures as far as you can tell. They look like there's some gnomes and some maybe a smattering of halflings and everything. There's a half orc here. There, it's pretty much a melting pot here. I would say there's probably more of Fae lineage. Every once in a while you do see not a cherry, well possibly a cherry, just of some sort of forest elf bit moving around. But not very often. You see more half breeds of, like you see a lot more half elves. I would say here, more than anything. Yes.
Yes, I would like to find a. If any of the half elves look like they're even half well dressed.
By your standards, nobody here is well dressed.
Oh, well, fair. I said half well dressed.
No.
Oh, fine. I'll still find one. Fix my
Yeah,
hair.
no.
Make sure I'm wearing some nice earrings.
All of these people, especially the people that are up this early, are dressed in functional
Oh,
clothing.
that's fine. I want to greet one in the most elegant manner possible. Bow, ask, who is in charge around here? I would love an audience with them.
You bow before what looks like some type of milkmaid, the type of, because they're wearing like a nice long dress-ish, but obviously still built for function. And it looks like they're carrying what looks to be a jug of freshly poured and filtered milk, and wearing a bit of a bonnet. That you walk up to, and at first she's like, and looks very distraught by the fact that you've like walked into her path, and is bowed before them, and they're about to walk around you before you bow and kind of block their path again, and they're like, what?
Please, I simply want to know, who is in charge of this village? This bustling metropolis?
I don't even know anymore. And they just stomp off.
Interesting. I don't think they know who's in charge.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe a lack of order.
And they yell behind them as they like throw one of their hands up, but certainly not my husband.
I don't know.
Is that a bigger, nicer building?
There are some ruins that look cooler than others, but as far as like bigger, nicer building, there's no like 2-story buildings here. There's if you're
no,
looking
like,
for like
obvious
a more
town hall.
official thing,
Yeah.
it's hard to find. I would say the closest thing you have been like that you, if you start to look around a bit, would be there's a tower that is on the northwestern edge of the town that appears to be of like old and ruined, but then has been rebuilt with like spiked wooden logs and like palisades to create balconies and other bits. And that appears to be the largest building here. It does look like it's manned, from what you can tell it, and it does look like it's manned by quite a few heavily armed, full orcs.
Okay. I'm sure they can be reasoned with.
That place looks kind of official.
It does. I will
gotta
say,
read it.
well, you wouldn't know because you're not a lander.
It hardly looks palatial, but it's definitely better than these.
Do I get a
Others.
sense that the like amount of grumpiness is just normal, or like if
Roll an
it's
insight
weird?
check for me. And you know what? Also, roll a history check at advantage for me.
Ooh.
So, insight is 19.
Osford, you can do a history check at advantage as well.
History is 25.
25.
Holy crap.
Insight check 19. These people are like, they have negative patience. That seems like what the sense you're getting from them. They have zero patience. They're to the point where they're all, I don't want to say at the end of your rope, but they're all at the point where they're extremely ornery and irritable. But they all seem to be like collectively in that mood together. You don't know about the cause. You haven't really done too much investigating as far as this, but this seems that's just the way they're feeling right now. It's odd to see all these people in the same mood, but all of them are in the same mood. They're all looking like that. Couple things. Let me do this first. What'd you get?
13.
13. You know about orcs in general. I mean, some of them are fine, upstanding members of society. Others choose to associate themselves with roving, raiding orc bands, who then have a sort of banner that then identifies them to inspire fear or kowtow or whatever it is that they need, trying to do so in those means. That's what you understand. You have yet to see any type of banner from these people or anything, but I would say there's probably a healthy sense of caution built into you from traveling, especially through the plains of Hest.
So I can see the orcs, right?
Yes, you
They're
can see the
in
orcs.
armor, I'm assuming.
Heavily armed and armored, yes.
Okay. They look like they're observing the
It
townsfolk.
looks like they're manning a military station.
Yeah. This is a Mott and Bailey situation.
You got 25. You notice a banner. Not only do you notice a banner, this is a banner of what is known as the Elephant's Foot clan. And they are notorious for taking over towns and holding them hostage, and so that the greater protectorate of the area of the government will pay out to make them go away.
Except there is no
There's
greater
nobody to
government.
Yeah. But they don't do as much mercenary work as they do ransom work as far as that thing. They also are not the type of people you want to meet on the road, because they will just trample anybody that is in their path. Like quite literally. Hence the name, the Elephant's Foot Clan. They have also been known to just run through small towns just to show their dominance and just stomp on everything and just leave nothing behind, just to inspire fear. The other thing, you got an insight and you got a history 25, right?
Yeah.
So you've encountered the Elephant's Clan once before. It was a situation where one of the towns that you had to go, you and your mentor had to go somewhat near town in order to get certain supplies because it was a very bad winter. And that town was being occupied by the Elephant's Foot clan, but you guys didn't have a choice. You had to go into town and get supplies or you weren't going to survive the winter. You waited outside for your mentor to come back, of which your mentor came back very quickly, running from hails of arrows with bags of supplies. And so nothing about them has been a good experience for you. I think that's it. Yes. Oh, one last thing that you notice, Pip, I'll say, is you do notice a bit of a blue glow up at one of the taller portions of like I said, the tower is kind of ruined and it's open on a couple sides because the stones don't go all the way up. So instead, rather than like rebuilding the wall, they just kind of built a balcony of like wooden pointed palisades out and then just supported that against parts of the wall that isn't. So it's kind of hodgepodge MacGyvered together. But you do notice a bit of like a blue glow on like the two topmost floors of it.
How tall? You said all of the buildings are one story, but this tower is not.
This tower is a tower. It's an actual tower. I'd say, I don't want to give it a foot measure, but I'd say it's probably 5 or 6 floors.
Okay.
And each floor being about like 10 to 15 feet tall, somewhere around there. So it goes up to enough where it's towers above all of the plants and the buildings in the area.
Do they notice us?
They are on patrol, moving about the tower, so it would be reasonable to assume that they notice everybody. They have a
Interesting.
very good vantage point. So
Interesting that they haven't like come down and said anything.
I mean, if you're
about us
like
being
looking
there.
specifically for them to notice you, their gaze does pass by you, but they don't really take it a point to.
Okay, I just
We're
figured
not a
they'd-
threat.
I just figured they'd come down. I mean, if they're
They are,
holding this
though.
town for
We
ransom.
shouldn't stay here for very long.
Oh, you know them?
I don't know them, but I know their clan.
Of them.
Or I'm sorry, their band is what
Their
I meant to say.
band.
Yeah,
Their group, their
war band.
their posse.
Orc posse.
Anyway, We shouldn't stay here for very long. We should just get what we need and leave. Which is whatever. I don't even know why we're here. Let's just leave.
Yeah, we actually don't
Honestly-
even need to be in the town. We gotta go north.
But
Do we need any supplies? I mean,
it's been so long since we slept in an actual bed.
this
I
town
don't-
situation stinks. We should.
You see, there's
something
someone that
about
comes
it,
up right
but-
behind you, Maeve. Appears to be a bit of a meek gentleman. It's like, oh, you need a place to stay? You need to sleep?
Yeah, well, not just
6 in
this
the morning.
second. But first, before I make any decisions, you
okay?
decisions, you small coughing man, tell me, why is everyone so rushed?
Oh, well, I mean, things have to get done and all
Yes,
that.
but why? Why the rush?
Why do things have to get done?
No, why rush them? You can take your time. You can
If we had
relax.
all the time in the world, I mean, we wouldn't have to rush, but things do need to get done. But yeah, sometimes we can, not everybody has the best of days, but it's okay. Just try to roll with the punches, and everybody has their own battles.
Are these literal or figurative battles?
He DM'd it to us.
No, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it depends on the person. But
Fair enough.
but you said you needed a place to rest.
I mean, not if the place
You could
is
stay at mine if you'd like. I'd be happy to. I do have 2 extra beds.
Let me confer with the members of my traveling party. Hey, so why are we here again?
We're just passing through.
We're passing through. Okay, let's pass through. We got rest.
I do not like what's going on here, but I don't know if now is the time to act on it.
You there, sir? Are you in immediate danger?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I just got back from, having a little constitutional to clear my head, and I feel much better.
Oh, see, they're not in danger and they have constitutionals. They seem fine.
When we were in Krigal's camp,
Yes.
there was a sort of familiarity, a feeling of kin, of pack, yes,
Right.
that we felt. Mm-hmm. Was there also sort of like something scent-wise that we could pick up?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like if you could sense like some sort of canid thing from
Yes.
them via olfactory. Yeah.
Can I try to find
You want to
a
sniff
similar
somebody's
scent? No, just in
Figuratively?
yes.
Sure. Yeah. Go
Is
ahead.
there a track in town?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Yeah. I would say perception or investigation,
Okay. Neither is going to be good.
depending on how deep you want to go with this looky loo.
How deeply you want to sniff this bud?
It's only an 8.
An 8.
It was
You just
perception. I was just trying to sniff.
you just kind of sniff the air.
Because
You
we
don't
know
smell anything.
Dorkar
They're near.
is near.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be somewhere
Relatively speaking,
close.
yes.
Darkor.
Darkor. This would be the only place he would be able to get supplies. So I was trying to see if I could pick up on his trail.
I don't know, man. They sent us through trees. They have access to. I mean, he's a super ancient elf.
Yep.
I mean, this would probably be convenient, but
Did I actually mention what species he was?
no. Okay.
He was a member of the cops, so I guess we sort of assumed he was.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the
you don't
cops-
sense any pack members
Okay.
nearby, not as of yet.
And all of Krigal's pack was. Wood elf?
Smattering.
No, smattering.
Whatever.
Okay.
Guys, I don't have any proof, but I think the longer we stay here, the grumpier we're gonna get. So let's leave.
I'm fine with passing through. I have no problems with
I
that.
have never been grumpy in my life.
Okay, then let's keep it that way. Let's leave.
Fabulous.
Quick question:
Sure.
does this town look big enough to support a burgeoning cottage health potion industry. Because we have
You can
tons of
certainly
loot.
search for one if you'd like to. Would you like to wander around town and look for commerce?
You guys okay with that?
Pip is like walking out.
Did any of the shops that was setting up look like they had
There's
potions?
if you're looking
to sell?
specifically like for there does look to be an herbalist that's setting up. By now things have already been set up, and there's actually people walking through the streets. Again, everybody looks irritable. But goddamn day, gotta set up the damn fucking stall.
If we have time, I'd like to chat with the herbalist real quick.
Yeah.
By all means.
There's like breads and what looks like a hat, what looks like a
haberdashery.
haberdashery. Thank you. A small street stall haberdashery, or some dried meats, some fruits and stuff like that are moving about. If you want to go check out the herbalist, yeah.
Yes.
What quality are these hats?
They're handmade.
Oh.
It looks like not
As in everything isn't handmade?
handmade, as in not made with any type of loom or tool used to make clothing. It looks like it was like they all look hand stitched or woven or crocheted or knitted.
Anyway. Potions?
Yeah, give me like 15 minutes.
You walk up to the herbalist's stall. What you could tell because there's some incense burning in a couple pouches of drying things. As you walk up, it looks like they're reading some sort of book or pamphlet or something as they're flipping through it, and they're like, "We are out of dried strawberries and taro root. So find your diarrhea medication elsewhere."
I usually just grin and bear it. I think I'll be okay.
Gross. You're still here. Do you need something else?
Do you not wish to do business on this day?
What can I help you?
I require health potions.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Require health potions. Just check my stock here. We don't have any health potions. We have powders. Do you want powders?
Are they healing powders?
Do they have healing powders? Fucking Christ. They have anticoagulant properties, as well as anti-inflammatory properties, so I would call them healing powders.
May I inspect them?
Oh my gosh.
For the record,
I'm
I'm
sorry if
still
I have
outside
offended you. I
talking
merely
to the
wish to
hat guy.
purvey your wares.
Here's the healing powder. I'll open it for you. Does that look okay?
Does it?
It looks like a slightly off-white powder, with maybe a dash of oregano in it.
Oregano. Yeah.
To
Everyone
make it more palatable.
Everyone
Come
likes
on.
Everyone has to do their own thing.
No good taste if you had shoved down your mouth. Would you like some healing powder? I have 3 sacks.
Just how much is that? Is that like what?
What do you have?
One charge. I'm just based on my sheet, right?
Yeah.
How much is a sack worth, right?
Oh, no, they're
hogshead
asking,
or-
what do you have? Barter system.
Barter system. I have gold. How about I barter my gold for your wares, sir?
Ma'am, but
Ma'am.
okay.
Okay.
I'll take some of the gold. How about 8 pieces of gold per sack?
I'm assuming a sack is like one charge. Or
1 dose, yeah.
One dose. 8 pieces?
Blow it in somebody's face, and they get better. Most of the time.
If it were all of the time, I would give you 8 pieces. For most of the time, the best I can do is 7.
It doesn't bring people back from the dead.
Fine, 8 pieces.
Wonderful. Here you go. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Amateur. And I walk away.
Oh, shit.
Can I trade a
That
necklace
is how many?
for a sack of fruit?
So 3 doses of healing
24.
powder. They act as... So they act as lesser healing potions.
Yep, I have healing potion dust 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah, 1d4 was on. However, these ones can be, if you want to, rather than toss it to somebody and have them take it, you can just throw it at somebody as an improvised weapon
Like a
attack
hand.
and try to hit them in the face, and it automatically heals them as long as they're breathing.
Okay.
Like a little smoke bomb. Sure.
Necklace for a sack of fruit.
Walk up.
You said a fruit vendor.
Yeah,
right?
there's a fruit vendor.
Just simple. Just I want fruit.
We're out of strawberries.
You have anything local? I'm from not from around here. I want to try your
These
fruit.
nuts. Sure, fine.
Necklace if you let me fill my sack.
What?
I'll hang out one of my necklaces. Trade your necklace. You let me fill my sack with fruit.
Stop saying that. It's making me really hard to stay angry.
Deal?
How about
I'll
some
start-
melons?
I'll start putting
Shit.
2 big melons in the skin sack
All right, fine. Get out of here.
and a small thing of nuts.
Fine. Throws the nuts in your face. Ah, damn it.
Wait, this is a sack that still has an arm in it,
No,
right?
we buried the arm in
Did
the
we?
forest.
There's some other gross shit in there, though.
Did we clean the
I've
sack?
been in the water enough that it's rinsed out.
We have
Okay.
rinsed the sack.
Yikes.
Who's got any healing potions? I'm gonna dole these out.
Oh,
Anybody
don't
have?
think
I think Len, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Maybe have one on you in case someone needs to run up to you and like administer, first aid. But I've got 3 that I just bought, 1 previous healing dust, and 1 potion for
I mean,
myself.
I have the Behost receipt.
And the
on,
Behost receipt.
but
Yeah.
That's about it.
I've got some good berries.
So
Still.
Burn that spell.
Good berries only last a day.
Oh.
Pip, as you're leaving town, someone rushes out of a building, like the door just bangs open, and it looks. They have that like run and look of them as though they're about to throw up and vomit, like they're sick. They push you out of the way, almost push you down, but you're dexterous enough to like not fall down. And I'm not going to do athletics contest. And they push you out of the way and start digging a hole like right where you were. And it takes them just a couple seconds to get what they think is deep enough before they hold it like like the porcelain god after a night of drinking, and just scream a blood curdling scream into the hole.
Same scream we heard earlier.
Similar.
And just let loose.
And they just scream a couple times.
I guess they really did need that diarrhea medicine around here.
And then he stands up and he's like, oh, much better.
Has that been happening?
Sorry, are you okay?
I'm fine. Are you guys okay?
Yeah. Totally cool.
That seems to be happening a lot, judging by the number of holes around here.
Is that really,
Really?
necessary if you need to just have a good scream?
Sometimes you just gotta let it out.
But the hole?
I point to all the holes that are...
Do you just let it out wherever you're standing, you just drop one?
I mean,
Oh,
What
screw
are you, an
Nope.
animal? You dig a hole, latrine. My goodness.
Do you dig a hole just to yell into?
You don't dig a hole when you yell?
this is like some Alice in Wonderland shit.
something...
How do you keep it there? That you just let it get smeared all over the place?
I don't.
You just yell at your
Continue
friends sometimes,
past, I'll-
too.
I'll let you take a moment to the top.
No,
I
you...
love how Len is like, what?
I mean, he seems to be in... Usually latrines are in one place, and they stay there. They don't dig a new hole every time they need something, yeah?
Well, it's filled now.
With the yelling?
Yes.
I'm gonna reach down and with my arm like in the hole, I'm gonna go like
You're gonna scoop it up.
I
Okay.
hate to
Yeah.
break the news to you, but when you yell into that hole, we can hear you for miles.
He didn't yell into the hole.
He didn't yell into the hole.
Diarrhea'd in.
He diarrhea.
No, he yelled
he
into
fully
the hole.
yelled
He
into the
just
hole.
yelled
Oh.
into the hole.
He screamed into the hole.
It was innuendo, but no, he just.
He just screamed into the hole.
Okay. Never
He
mind.
dug a hole, put his head there, and
and
screamed.
screamed.
We heard you on the road this morning, miles away. Well, maybe
Of course
not
you're gonna
you.
hear it. I mean, like but it's now it's there.
I don't think it ever
You
was.
you reach your hand. You're like, no. Oh, gross.
I'm gonna go like this at him.
He just covers his face like this and just goes running off, like just you sick bastard, and just starts just running. He's like scrubbing his face and putting them out. He's gone.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I don't
Put
want to mess
some
with
of-
any of whatever this
Put
is.
some of the
I-
screams in the skin bag.
Nope.
Maybe they'd be really useful.
Nope. I got some,
How
some food in there now.
How terrifying would that be if we open a bag of flesh and it just screams at you?
I'm gonna get my water skin
Sure,
and I'm gonna put it in the hole
sure.
for a moment, like turn his crew. And then I'm gonna like walk up to like a random townie who's like doing whatever.
One
And
who
I'm
wasn't
like,
paying
I'm gonna,
attention.
Excuse me, can I have a moment of your time?
No.
I'm gonna be like, wait. I'm gonna go like this, my water skin. Yeah, at them.
They're like,
We don't see anything, correct?
it was a half-elven woman that you did this to, and she takes a swing at you, but misses. She's like, and like you did something very inappropriate to her. She takes a swing at you in
So they
in
can literally
retaliation,
see the screams.
There's,
but misses
This
as
is crazy.
you dodge out of the way,
there's nothing there.
and then
Oh.
tries to like open hand backhand slap you again.
Interesting. But did she see you scoop it out of the hole?
Misses
I
again.
assume not.
I don't
I don't.
think she did.
From our point of view, there's nothing there, but they can obviously see and sense this stuff.
I'm gonna say.
Frustration
Well,
takes physical
I don't.
form.
I don't see anything. You see, we're from out of town. We don't. See,
Kasiksi will blink.
we don't see anything in these holes.
Kasiksi will lure her.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We were just about to get answers.
I'm 12.
Trying to get her to stop swinging at Len.
Not very good. 12.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
I wanted to see if they'd still react, even if they didn't
Succeeds.
like see us. And
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything to. What? I'm sorry. What was it that you did afterward? You were like, we don't see anything,
saying, like-
right? You said that we don't see anything. They're like, you can feel it. It's everywhere. You horrible,
is-
horrible man.
What?
And she just turns around and storms off, like trying to whip you with the back of her hair.
Interesting.
Okay, now I'm curious. Pip is like, do I die? Do I figure out what happens?
To me, it
Die and
seems
figure
like
out what happens?
group hallucination, and I want no part of that. So,
But there's a blue thing on the tower.
perhaps that's what's messing with all their heads.
Then I want to take it
Wait, a blue thing?
and look at the tower.
You got to get through all those big green dudes
You look
to
at
do
the
that.
tower, and on like the 4th level up or something like that, there is a glow, kind of like a torchlight glow, but it's blue, not like yellow or orange.
Interesting. Like it's not something we can see that's
Yeah,
glowing.
not
it's
from
just-
your angle, unfortunately. You can only see the
Damn.
way it dances off the edges of the ceiling and the walls.
I mean, what else?
You got to get past all those dangerous.
I mean, I can shoot an arrow in there and hope for the best.
Can we not parlay with them?
No,
No.
that's not going to work.
Probably not for the best.
Also, for the record, this man had no idea how to make hats. Anyway,
Yes.
having not paid attention to anything that was just happening, other than schooling this man in proper haberdashery.
So can you give me just a quick rundown on this like tower structure we saw? again?
Sure. Would you like a visual? It's not painted, and I feel shitty about that. But I can give you a little visual without giving them too much of you guys too much of a visual.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind.
But I'll explain it first. It is, from what I can remember, either somewhere between 4 to 6 floors. Large, old, weathered stones that create just like, a basic, very fundamental tower, which would have crenulations on the top if there wouldn't be like a large portion of it kind of spiraling down of it that is like turned to rubble and started to, the wooden floors between it are mostly intact, but like walls of parts of it are just kind of like missing, kind of like down a whole spiral
It's
of it
like a
down.
crumbling tower.
Yeah, and kind of a crumbling tower, but it's still as the height as to probably when it was built. But parts of the wall are missing. Now, where those parts of the wall are missing, there's kind of like scaffolding and extra balconies that have been built with like large pointed logs and palisade-ish style like flooring that have come out to make this kind of orc fortress looking feel, if that makes sense.
I see.
And there is only a single door, as far as you can tell. If you like kind of walk around it, a single door. It looks like only one entrance, one way in, one way out, unless you have the capabilities of moving in a three-dimensional manner.
All right.
Or you can fly.
That I believe falls under that description, but yes,
Or
Yeah.
just walk up walls.
yeah, that too.
Oh, right.
I mean, I can't do either of those things, but I can fall.
Hey guys, I can't fly or climb walls, but I can fall.
I'm pretty good at it.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm really good at falling.
Yeah, I take minus 25 fall damage. fall. Fall like a boss.
So you have just this town of people and this weird orc fortress, and part of me is tempted to wait for nightfall and to do a little snooping and walking up the sides of things, but I also don't want to get blown up because I'm going to be by myself doing that.
Yeah, I too am curious as to what's going on here, but I don't think this is the time.
I want the thing. But yeah, you're right. I don't want to die.
Wait, you want what thing?
The blue thing.
Well, do you know what the blue thing is?
No.
Do any of
wants
us
to
have a
know.
way of knowing what the blue thing is?
Well, I could find out if I go up and grab it.
You make
Would
a good
I-
point.
Would I be able to recognize the blue thing as some kind of like magical artifact, like with a check maybe?
At the moment, you only have indirect view of the light that it is emitting.
Right, yeah.
Granted, so if you would like to identify it, I mean, you can try, but this is like, you can absolutely make an attempt. The thing is that you do not have actual visual. You don't have a visual on what the source of this is, so it could be just a blue glass lantern, or it could be a number of other things.
Yeah.
If you, here's what I will say is that if you want to roll either an Arcana or a History check or something like that, actually, I'll give you the option: Arcana, History, or Nature at disadvantage. And if you do really well, we'll see.
Can I roll Arcana at disadvantage?
You can. What I will say, I'm going to tell you right away, that if what this is doesn't fall under that category, you're not going to get a whole lot.
Okay.
You don't know what this is.
I did an Arcana and I rolled a 16.
A 16.
I can do history.
Let me, before I give answers, I want to go around. Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead. What are you doing?
What's left?
Arcana,
History, Nature?
History or nature? I have +8 in history.
Oh, you can do history, then I can do nature.
A magic check.
Oh.
Oh, that's amazing.
God, not great. I got an 11.
An 11. Okay. And you're doing history?
Yes. Oh, mine's nature. 23.
23. Okay.
Yes.
So for the magic check, it looks by the way it's dancing around, that it doesn't appear to be being affected by the wind. Meaning that it could be one of two things: either a covered flame, or magically produced, or some sort of light source that is either magically produced or covered in some way.
Okay.
At 11, it's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
It's a blue light. It's enticing.
I want it.
And 23, you said, for history?
23.
This looks starkingly familiar to how they, back in Sarnle, how some buildings and some palatial places had magically enhanced lighting in a way that and then they could like do it however they want, just kind of like the smart lights that we have today. But what stands out to you, which is kind of irking you, is the fact that it looks like it's not stationary. The angle as to which it's casting seems to move every once in a while,
Interesting.
like it's a mobile. It's mobile.
So it sounds like it looks like it's probably magical and moving. I don't really want anything to do with it, frankly.
Okay.
It's just a best case scenario. It's some trivial bauble.
I will say this one last thing. From what
Really?
you can tell, it doesn't look like something that's being worn or carried. It looks like something that has its own locomotion.
Okay. Best case scenario, it's a bauble. Worst case, it's some kind of something casting this light that will hurt us.
Okay.
Maybe.
So I can't grab it.
Come back.
Yeah, I'm concentrating.
I kind of think we should come back, but
Something trivial. Yeah, why don't we just continue going about what we were doing before?
Yeah.
Worry about this later.
Have fun with your screaming.
Did you just say to the collective town?
So I say it to literally every town I get.
Cool.
Happy screamings.
Are you guys, so what direction? You've reached the town. The only direction that you had was somewhere near TàmTalah, near the forest. I believe it's called. I don't have it up right now.
The shade and shawl.
The Shade and Shald.
Yeah.
So
somewhere in the Shade and Shald near TàmTalah.
So,
Okay.
east?
Northeast, looks like.
No, yeah, anywhere between direct due north to due east. Anywhere between there.
Well, if everyone has their stuff together, then not much else to do besides start looking.
yep,
Okie
we
dokie.
can go sniff it out.
Cool. You guys travel through a couple more very ornery and irritable individuals. It appears it's odd because the town itself, like its commerce and its like what it needs to do and its productivity, doesn't appear to. Granted, you're not from here, but it doesn't appear to there have any overt signs of deleterious effects from whatever this anger or frustration is. But everyone has it. Other than the vibe being really off and not being very social, it's like the tasks that they have to do appear to be getting done. I do want to do one last thing before you guys actually leave, is that on your way out, I want everybody to please roll a wisdom saving throw.
Awesome.
Len, at disadvantage.
Oh, just Lynn at disadvantage
Just
or all
Lynn
of
at
us?
disadvantage.
Okay.
Is this an effect that counts as a charming effect?
That's a good question.
Plus.
I'm gonna say yes.
Does that mean I have an advantage?
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess
So I'm just normal.
it's just a straight roll. You don't have that ability, do you?
I thought I did because of my...
You do. Yes, you do. Fuck, all of you do. This is except for Oscar. Okay, what do we get?
14.
14. Okay, that's success.
19.
Success.
Was a 16 for me.
Success.
24.
Success.
6.
Failure. Oscar, you like think back on that conversation you had with that herbalist, and you
really
just like
pissed me
remember just how it was like really disrespectful.
So rude.
It was really rude. In fact, you know what? You're not even above going back and giving her a piece of your mind.
No one at the farm would talk to anyone like that. That's just like right out. You don't build a community with that kind of disrespect. How dare that lady?
You're in your monk robes.
Kasisi slips out and goes like, "Yes, you should go back and give her a piece of your mind."
You're in your monk robes too. She disrespected your order.
Yes, oh,
This healing
your
potion
order.
stuff is middling at best.
Institutional disrespect.
Just the worst kind of people.
You know, they don't deserve to be running commerce like that.
You know, I want my money back.
That's
this
right.
healing
That's right.
potion's
Go ask for
garbage.
a refund. Go.
Oscar, where you going?
we can just
Where
keep
you
going.
We're leaving.
We can
I'm
keep-
going to tell this
No.
amateur
Can I grab
How
his
to
shoulder?
re-
You grab
Really?
the small statured Oscar. He is like, he turns on his heels and just starts marching back with a purpose. And Kasixi's like, yes. You attempt to grab him. Oscar, you gonna let Bass grab you?
Now's not the time, my friend.
I mean, yeah.
We've already decided we're coming back, so deal with this some other time.
We can come back and you can give him a piece of your mind then.
Here, have some nuts. They're fresh.
Fresh from the sack.
It's the best kind. Of course, I'll have some of those nuts.
Oscar, I want you to do me a favor. I want
Maybe I
you
was just hungry.
to mark down somewhere that you
Okay.
have a patient point. A patience point.
Interesting.
Did we ever
spell
establish why we have a
P-A-T-I-E-N-C-E.
bag?
Like being patient with someone.
Yeah, how do you spell that?
I think it's
P-A-U.
Tience.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wait,
I
we-
could be
we
totally
weren't here
fucking
either
wrong.
for it.
I'm terrible
we-
at spelling.
P-A-T-I-E-N-T-C.
Where- when we got it?
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't remember getting it.
Nope, there
Yeah,
was
we
no
got
T.
it
Yep.
like right at the
P-A-T-I-E-N-C-E.
Oh.
It was like the first session.
Yeah, so I did get it.
That far back.
I remember
1
being
point
like,
of
wow, we're going
patience.
hard.
1 point to patience.
Oh.
All right, so you guys leave. You head to the northwest. Again, as you're exiting this town, you see holes. Like, you're starting to realize like there's a perimeter of like holes all around the town.
Do I see anything in the holes?
Do you see anything in the holes?
Yeah.
Do you see anything dripping from Len's water skin?
Do you
No,
see
you
my
don't see
arms
anything.
covered in anything?
It's just cum everywhere.
Wow.
She's, god damn it. I read the joke wrong. Fuck.
Ghosts.
It's
Where?
fine, ectoplasm. Okay, so we were leaving TàmTalah, and everyone rolled saving throws. Osfer felt this pang of frustration and anger, just the disrespect. What did you do deserve this disrespect?
Speaking that way to a fellow herbalist, one who knows his craft, talking like I don't know what I'm talking about. That don't fly.
Bass was able to somehow pull you away, but you feel as though pieces of your patience are being chipped away. Okay, you guys continue north by northwest, or however you wish.
East.
Yes, I'm sorry, north by northeast. So, is there? You guys give me. Is there a specific direction you would like to head in as you head into the wilds of the Shaden Shald?
Not particularly, I think.
I think
Okay.
just like vaguely northeast, and we'll just kind of be trying to pick up on pack scents.
You guys want to try to do that? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll perception checks for me.
At advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using smell, yeah, absolutely.
18.
18. Okay.
21.
21.
22.
All right, even better. Cool. So I'm going to say that there is a very faint, vague scent. You're not sure if it's an actual wolf, a fox, or some other type of canid or other predatory that has glands that exude those types of smells. But you do pick up on something. You can, if you'd like, lead the party in that direction. You are now fully in the wilds again. There is no road here. This is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than you were when you were off the road coming from Balmoral.
Lead the way, Len.
Len leads the way as he constantly checks in with the other two individuals who have some canid blood in them. But he does his best to make sure that you avoid the natural dangers of the forest. You do me a favor, just you automatically do that. What I want to do is that this is also a very dangerous area, so I want you to roll a survival check just to see if you are, just how good at it you are.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good at making sure we don't die.
Oh, that's 12.
12. You've never been here before, so you're doing your best, but you feel confident that you're sight reading this area pretty well. But it's impossible to be prepared for everything. You don't know what there is to what's hiding or lurking beneath. But you guys continue on. I would say a few hours into your bushwhacking, you come upon what appears to be, I don't want to say a clearing, but I would say a spot of land where the rock is more prominent than the trees. And this is where your scent has been leading you. It's just, the sun shines through a little bit more here, almost a ray that kind of dashes upon these rocks that are moss covered. It's a small collection of rocks, no more than like maybe 15 feet by 15 feet. Just appears to be a regular feature. Just the trees hasn't grown as much because it's more of a tough, gravelly ground. Well, it's dirt, but just large boulders kind of strewn within each other. This is where your scent has been taking you. And the scent here is very, very strong. You try to see if it goes off in any other directions. It doesn't. It there's like almost as if there's probes, as if they goes back and come back, goes back and then comes back in, goes back and then comes back in.
I would like to shift
Okay.
and howl.
Okay. You do so.
Unless somebody stops me.
Did I make you do something for shift or no? Okay, you can just do it.
Yes.
Yeah, you take your action to shift.
We have the shapeshift ability, I believe, and you said it was either full wolf or hybrid.
Yeah. Are you doing full wolf or hybrid?
Yes, full wolf.
Full wolf. Okay. You see Bastion, Osford, you both kind of like just standing there sniffing the air as people, which is a little odd. Just both of them, like their arms going off into the woods like 10 feet and then come back sniffing around. And then Bastion just eventually just gets down on all fours and you hear some bones cracking and flesh and sinews snapping before his hair starts to grow, and he's mostly naked anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And you are your full wolf form and you let out a woo.
Have we ever seen them transform before?
Osford did.
When you
we
first
were-
met Darkcore, they were kind of forced into their wolf form.
Krogal.
Or Krogal.
I didn't turn. I made
Yes.
my save. I didn't have to turn.
Yeah.
But Osford, I think you did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Oh,
Why are you so
incredibly
mean?
I'm not being mean. It was objectively gross.
You didn't have to say it.
She does.
I had to watch it.
Objectively, you might be right.
If Lynn thinks it's gross, it's definitely gross.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. You just ingest
turns
bodily
his head
fluids
to
on a
show
regular
his ears.
basis.
You know, that's fair, actually.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
I'll give you that.
Okay. So cool. So you howl. No response. No change. Air seems the same. The smell seems the same.
I'll shift back.
Okay.
So nothing.
Doesn't seem like this is the place.
I guess
Can you
back to
warn
searching.
us before you do that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Let's just get back to searching.
Cool.
I mean, this is the place, though.
Is it? Is it?
It's a place.
Okay.
You have a different idea?
I figure we wait. All the scent we found led us here, and then everything about the scent here says stay here. All of the things turn around immediately.
See
So,
here.
I mean, I feel like there's something here that we're not picking up on.
Maybe. I wanna use my awareness again. Just see if I sense anything else besides Faye.
Okay. I want to say that you sense a celestial presence, some sort of angelic presence,
I'll share that.
but it feels like out of phase. Like it's here, but it's not fully here.
like its energy is just kind of here.
Kind of, yeah. Like a scar or like a footprint of it.
Yeah, I do sense some kind of.
Like he's here, but he's on a different plane. Like we can't.
That may be the case.
Oh, I dig a small hole,
You dig a small hole. Okay.
just in case.
Okay, just in case you got it.
I don't know. That's what they were all doing, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. It's been a couple hours,
best
right?
Be prepared. Oh, God.
Go ahead, roll another wisdom saving throw.
19.
19. Okay, you're okay. You feel confident in your whole digging skills.
Dark Core is like the alpha,
Pater familias.
like him, the werewolf,
I'm just looking for
Big
him,
Daddy.
yeah.
We need him to cure us.
He also might have answers.
He might know the
Okay.
bad cops.
Did you scream into the hole?
No,
Okay.
it's just in case I might need it.
Just looking for him.
Kind of. So, we were told there would be answers
Yeah.
in the woods near TàmTalah about the corruption. We were also told Darko was probably hiding out somewhere up here. So, we're looking for him or somebody old enough that they would know what's going on.
Okay. So something specifically that I want to do. So while I'm tracking down creatures, I can figure out like with just one of my features, I can figure out how many of them there are, like how big they are, like kind of when they were around.
Sure.
And I want to try to look for any sign if we were looking for, like search for, like as we walk around the forest, keep an eye out for like prints, tufts of hair left behind on things, or even scents left behind in areas. Maybe locations where there might have been like a hunt or something, like the remains or like tissues or carcasses or whatever, like forest creature.
You got it. So you want to like start doing kind of like a spiraling out grid pattern from that area,
Yeah.
and like start doing like a search grid kind of deal.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm going to say that's survival. Go ahead and roll a survival check for me. I will say, because you're searching for particular types of stuff and you're really good at this particular type of stuff, especially given your, biological disposition, I'm going to give you advantage on this. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if I could help him by sniffing along,
Absolutely, yeah.
but
you
he
can.
already has advantage, so he doesn't.
It's
When
23.
It'll just happen faster. I'm sorry. What was your question?
You have advantage.
Alex?
When we were
Okay.
before we got into Krogal's den,
Mm-hmm.
there was like a dead deer, and they like flayed it or some stuff.
The
in
dead
the
deer
den.
was built into like a bone tree totem.
An altar kind of
An
thing.
altar kind of in order to be like a component of the magic that allowed them to open the tree up and allow you to transport through it.
But that wasn't to get into the den.
No, that was an invitation.
Okay.
It was like you went through like the strands and hanging branches of a weeping willow that didn't lead to the interior of the tree, but instead to another like pocket realm.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm thinking is like, there's so many of these pocket realms here, and have to do with like the cops and all of the ridden. Like, I think he's here. I think we just can't get in now.
You got 26, right? For your survival?
22.
22. So you guys start going out, you find a couple things. Along the areas, after those couple probes out that go, those paths that kind of probe out and then come back, that's kind of where the scent ends. But you sense there's something else to it, and you do see large lupine footprints of like lupine and humanoid mixed together footprints that are 2 feet in length. That continue out in those directions. And not only do they continue out, they also at some point looked like they've been swished to stop.
Yeah,
Things
and I
from
would
being
be able
signed.
to. I would be able to figure out their exact number. I would like
One.
just one. Okay.
One. What's
Leaving,
how
coming
large?
back.
leaving, coming back. Hold on, let me finish, and then yes. One of the things that's most startling, however, is that at the end of these, which don't go too far, maybe a couple hundred feet in these directions, you find massacred entire herds of prey creatures. Whether it be like 6 bucks, several deer, what looks like an entire small herd of like forest buffalo, or like not like buffalo but like forest oxen, or that type of thing. After you do your whole rounds, just to give you an idea, one creature has killed, and you can tell. I'll let you get to that. One creature has killed over 120 creatures in the vicinity of less than a mile in radius from this area.
Were they just like left there rotting? Were they eaten? Or?
It looks like all of them are partially eaten, but it looks like they were all killed in quick succession, and then a bite or 2 or maybe 3 were taken from each. Like tapas.
That's so wasteful. Poor little forest friends.
All of them have kill bites on them. I will notice, like instant neck, gone, done, immediately, very fast, no pain, just
So
gone. What was your
wiped out
question?
and then gone back and like grazed on a little bit.
Or like gone, killed,
Right.
Killed all the herd real quick, and then grazed on the herd, and then went back.
Yes.
What was your question that you wanted to ask?
I'll do something else actually. I'm gonna go around and look at all the carcasses of these creatures.
Sure.
And try to examine them closely, see if there's something interesting about the way they've been left. Maybe some extra marks or wounds, or maybe the sort of shape of the like the shape of the bites in them. Like just to see if there's anything that stands out.
Sure. I'll say either another survival or a nature check for this one. Yeah, we'll see how well you do with this, and then
Also, how much blood is there? Doesn't Lynn not do too well with that?
There's a lot of blood.
I'm thinking about
There's hundreds of gallons of blood.
Like
That's-
fresh?
Yeah, that's a 9.
Some one of the just devastated hordes is a little more fresher than the others. What'd you get?
A 9.
A 9. The thing that stands out most to you is the size of the jaw print on this. It looks like the mouth could fully like fit in its mouth an entire oxen skull. This is a very large thing. The size of the foot alone is 2 feet long, and that's with not including the claws at the end of the feet.
And what creatures primarily make up the corpses? Just like deer,
Prey animals.
just in general.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like deer, oxen, like more of like a forest oxen. It's not quite oxen. We don't really have a species on Earth like it. It's more of like a little bit more of a slender oxen that can make its way through the trees, and their horns, rather than growing out, they grow straight up.
Forest cow.
Yeah, kind of a forest cow, and they use that to actually pull the branches down in order to graze on the like lower brush vegetation. They kind of pull it down for each other. There are what appeared to be, I don't want to say foxes, but because they're not prey, it's more of like meerkats and prairie dogs and stuff like that. Capybara,
Big rodents.
stuff like that. Big rodents.
Mister.
But it's odd that all of them are in, like, they're not mixed. There's a group of just exterminated deer. There's a group of exterminated oxen, or like forest cows. There's a group of exterminated capybaras. Like, they're all sequestered.
Does
from each
it
other.
look like they're all bit in the same way, or they just have like a big bite somewhere on them?
It does look like they're all bit in the same way, and they have that big bite at that same exact spot. It looks like there was brutal efficiency. They went straight for the kill, moved on to the next one quickly before any of the herd could escape. Lightning, they were all killed where they stand. None of them were aware.
Right. Okay.
But it is odd how all of them are here. It also looks like they were not dragged here. This is where they were, and they were killed while they were like feeding or grazing or unawares. Okay, which one of you? Osfer. You feel you're already a little impatient just by nature right now. You feel just the pang. It's back, nothing that's really affecting you too much, but you just notice this feeling. You're like, oh. And you try to push it away. Of this like, man, I could really go for a hunt, take care of, like, get out some aggression, and all this like bloodshed is like really it's like triggering that instinct to be a predator right now. And you're starting, like, it's slowly, gradually rising as a thing that you're constantly recognizing more and more and more as the more and more you're around these slaughtered animals. The other thing is that it looks as though whatever killed this must have obviously had a lot of blood on it. It also took great pains not to track that blood back to the clearing where the rocks are.
I need more material for pendants. Can I grab like horn, antler?
Yeah, you can start harvesting. Okay. Yeah, depending on how long you guys hang around here, you can easily start harvesting.
I don't want a whole lot, like an antler.
Sure.
From one group, like a horn from one of the oxen.
Tooth from another. You got it. Yeah, absolutely.
Just so I have more stuff to carve.
Get a cow horn, a deer antler, and a capybara tooth if you want it.
What if we were to sit still and wait to see if they came to us?
Do we have anything to protect our necks?
Best protect your neck.
we can try our best.
I say we go back to that outcropping.
Well, it seems to be hunting animals. We have an animal with us.
Whoa.
Maeve, that's bordering on
hold.
not even being funny.
Hold. Let's
That's kind of just mean.
What? The little creature, the little possum thing.
I need some immediate character development.
Here.
Yes.
Maeve, how about
Are you-
this?
Yes, have you finally had enough of Maeve being
Is it not obvious that I haven't?
fair?
Let's-
It was a suggestion.
I want to talk to you.
Oh.
Listen, we're all
Not cool.
I'd say we're all humanoids of a kind here, and look at how all these animals are piled up together in
Yes.
groups. It would be a nice, convenient little group, so to speak, for a prey to stumble upon.
So, we are a herd.
Something like that.
New group name, The Herd.
No.
I like it.
Wait, I actually kind of like that.
I like it.
I
CrestVahllen, the herd.
That kind of goes hard, actually.
I think as long as
Yard.
we're not seen as prey, we may not be in danger.
Do you want to find him or not?
Kind of think we should. I think we should go like hunt something down and bring it back.
Is there anything left to hunt?
Len, with your background, knowing what makes a prey and a predator is literally whatever is better at killing.
We are for sure prey.
That is a good idea too. We could go find some prey to use as bait.
I think
He may
Bait.
be able to tell that Asfa and
I
I
think
are
offer
pack.
is the better word.
That too. I'd add like the longer. You know how like when a dog really wants to eat something, you see just like this saliva just dripping down. That's what my
Yeah, it's very
face looks like
Pavlovian.
right now.
Yeah,
Just like
I mean, if we're trying to lure him, why don't we just yell,
Ooh,
"Hey, come here, we're here."
absolutely. By the way,
don't
please
think
roll
lure
a
is
wisdom
the-
saving
what
throw.
we're trying to
Because
do.
there is. How long has it been since you drank?
I think we're trying.
Couple
to
days,
it's been
right?
a hot minute.
Yeah,
prove our
there's a
mettle.
lot of blood
That's a
here.
6.
A 6. Okay. You got to drink. All this blood,
Chug, chug, chug.
not fresh enough. All this blood's not fresh enough. You have to drink.
Do I notice him getting twitchy?
Roll an insight check.
I'm
Not the
okay.
right way to describe that.
I'm okay.
What is it?
14.
14. He looks more stoic than anything, like he's in his head.
You see like a very slight like eye twitch. Every
Yeah, yeah.
Like we don't
Like-
get enough sleep.
You have to drink. You have a couple minutes before you start to feel what it feels like to not have control over your faculties when it comes to this.
I'm gonna seeing everything here. I'm gonna pop out a little file of the like fey bug blood that I have and just down it.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Interesting that you do that too, because what you do notice that even though this is far older than a lot of the prey that is here, it is this magical fey blood that kind of keeps its, as long as it's contained, doesn't age like milk. So yeah, you take a nice. I'm gonna say, you take a sip. You can't just take a sip.
I take another one.
You take another one.
My other file of fey
You
blood.
need more. You need more.
I take out my unicorn blood.
No, I'm saying you have to finish this.
I have to finish this.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
you
Down the
it.
vial.
You have to down it. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. I'm
that's
sorry.
what
I
I
didn't.
meant. I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
just-
Yeah. No, you
yeah.
fucking down it.
Yeah.
You take a sip and then you just. And then it gets over your face and you're like,
You need a moment there.
Hey, Lynn, when we get a moment, we're going to talk about your drinking problem.
We can.
I don't have a problem with it.
you have a
I
problem.
just need a drink. Okay.
Do you need a moment?
been a
You want
rough
some
week.
privacy? We can step back into the trees for you.
Listen, let's keep concentrating on what we're doing here.
Would you
Fair
like a
enough.
napkin at least? Savage.
I use what I have.
Yeah. This is tough for a Len. There's being surrounded by all this carnage.
So we're gonna try and find something to offer the beast. Yeah, is that the plan?
And Oscar seems enthusiastic about it, so
That was my best idea I got.
He seems to like the kill more than the food, though.
Yeah.
So if we bring him something dead, it's not really going to do much for him.
I think this is more to show that we are of a kind.
I think we need
Smile like
we
that.
need to bring him something that he can kill on his own.
All right, let's draw straws. I mean, you three draw straws, right?
Also, for the record, I didn't want to kill Pickle Boy. He's adorable. I like him.
I have walked as far away.
Yeah. I imagine as such. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, so just what I want to say too is that you were helping him, right? I want to say, can you, both of you please roll perception checks with your enhanced nature?
16.
16.
Mine was not that good.
Not as good. Okay. Bast, you hear what sounds like
Hogs?
have you met a hog before?
No, probably not.
So you hear
Okay.
I mean, I rolled an 11.
you rolled 11.
But I've
I'll
heard
say
hog.
you notice that he hears something,
Okay.
and he's like,
There's something over there. I don't know that sound, though.
sounds like boar to you, Oscar.
Boar's pretty tasty.
Quite a bit of boar,
As in more than one or a large one?
more than one, several.
Oh, okay.
Shall
should
we
probably hide then.
Be kind of dangerous, but
go capture some of them?
when in Rome, do as the werewolves do.
Where is Rome?
Near my village.
Near my village.
It's a saying they have.
it's across from the 7-Eleven.
Ah, yes, my uncle Remus. Okay, so I assume you guys investigate. Cool. So you guys check it out. You see, you do eventually. I actually do want you to roll all of you a stealth check, as to not, because I assume you're not trying to scare these boars away. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I do that. I rolled a 5.
Oh no. What did you get, man?
11.
11. Len?
19.
19.
23.
23.
26.
26. Okay. With these three on the case, Pip is like, is so just angry with Maeve right now that they're not really looking where they're going. Their heads down. They're like super in their head, and they trip over a root. And like both Bast, Osfer, and Len all like catch Pip at the same time and just like pick them up and put them back down.
Thanks.
Don't you think it's about time you hash something out?
Why do I have to hash anything out?
Not the time.
I'll be later.
What you do, guys, once you come through the brush and you are able to make visual contact with these, you do see a good of like maybe 7 or 8 boar of various sizes, but appear to be the similar species, if not all the same species, that are moving through the wood. It's odd. It's almost as if the wood itself is parting and like creating a way.
Directing them.
And it's interesting too because it looks like there is a small trail of truffles that are popping up
I think we just
in the
wait and
path,
see.
like being
Yeah.
baited
Imagine we're
in a
about to
direction.
find it.
Even like the boughs of trees like bend and creak and move out of the way. Some shrubs actually get up and skitter to the side to allow to like funnel these boar in a direction, presumably from what you can tell towards this rocky clearing.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do much. I think
Let's just sit back and watch the show.
we
Watch
follow
a-
these
watch a
things
master at work.
from the distance. Wait for him
Yeah.
to come to them.
Yeah.
Maeve,
Yes.
When you notice this, you also notice very slowly and gently a bough from one of the trees that you like have your hands on the branches as you're kind of peering through the underbrush, trying to stay stealthy, does come down and kind of do that movement that your parent does when they stop short and they put their hand out like as a supplementary seat belt. That just kind of like
Holds us back.
pushes you just a little bit up against your collarbone, just gives you just a little tension.
Yeah.
In Sylvan. Hi there.
There's a small vine that comes down like this over your lips.
Fine. Rude. It's very rude of you, trees.
It's poison ivy.
Grump.
Okay, you guys continue to follow stealthily this. Eventually, it stops, and they all kind of, and a couple more ruffles begin to grow, and whatever fucking roots and tubers or whatever the fuck borers eat, and they roots, tubers, and like mushrooms, right? Or some of them
I don't
carnivorous, or no?
They're omnivorous.
They're
They eat
omnivorous, yeah.
Whatever they can find.
Right, well, like I guess small rodents and shit, but they'll kill a person real quickly with like impale you on the leg.
They're well known for eating entire bodies.
Right,
Not
that's
that I-
true.
Anyway.
But anyway, the forest can only grow vegetables, so that's what it does. So vegetation. So, and now they're like appear to be in some sort of like pen, and they're just kept there. And they are given food. You wait, and you wait. The sun begins to fall low, and you wait. It is the
30th.
30th of Hylock, correct?
Yep. Ooh, we're coming up on the triple full.
Oh gosh.
What was that? That was the 31st?
I'm finding out right now. Where are you? There you are. Finding out real quick. There you are. Aha. You are on the 30th. The triple full is. We'll have to make up our characters. I don't think. No, not for a while yet.
I thought that's what we were waiting for. Never mind. Metagaming.
Different.
I know.
Yeah. Right. No, but it starts to become evening. You don't see any full moons in the sky. There are a couple waning gibbouses and waxing crescents. What you do see, however, is as you gaze up, is a star just streak across the sky, immolate, just burning super, super, super strong, before it just winks out of existence. In the pale light of twilight,
Was that
something hits your nose.
Oh.
Like a ton of bricks, both of you feel your immediate gut instinct reaction is to like get as low as possible and be as submissive as absolute possible. That's like your immediate gut reaction.
shift?
Thank you for letting me
I
know.
will shift into wolf form
Okay.
and like crouch as low as possible.
Okay. What about you, Oscar?
I'm just getting down.
Okay. You smell something that's very commanding. This very strong, like heavy presence. This pressure.
Or let's do hybrid form.
Okay. That just hits your nostrils. Len, I want to say, what's your passive perception?
13.
But you're on the lookout, right? I assume everybody is. Okay, so you guys can roll. Everybody can roll perception if they like.
13.
13.
24. Nat
24.
20.
20.
If you roll below your passive, do you just take your passive?
No, because what that means is that something like distracted you.
Okay.
12.
12.
7.
7. Okay. That's fine. 24, you said?
20. Yeah, I crit.
And 20.
20.
20. Okay, so they're the ones that got 20s? A 20 above? Okay. You guys notice, Pip, you hear something that your ears have been very sophisticatedly tuned to, which is the sound of a predator, because you're small and, easily physically overpowered.
Yeah.
So you do your best not to, and you've been out in the wild, so you know to keep your ear out for that stuff. You hear that, just that breathing. It's very, very faint. It's very, very low. It's in stealth mode, but you hear it. You just, like, the air around you just has a different vibration when that is present. And you just, your sixth sense of, like, shit. Like, I'm in somebody's den. I need to get the fuck out of here. Maeve, you look across the way and you see, you're just kind of scanning the trees and you see these two amber dots that just twinkle like this. It's the brightest star you could ever see. They're just right in the trees, right in the darkness beneath the bush. That are just staring daggers, not necessarily at you, but just in your direction, because you appear to be on the opposite side from where these boar are.
Yeah.
And if these belong to the same, they are about 1.5 feet apart from each other. Meaning, if they belong to the same creature on the same head, this thing is very large.
Interesting.
Everything is silent. Len, you immediately feel fight or flight. You know you're in somebody's den now. You've there's a dome that just went down, and you feel like, oh shit, I'm in somebody's den. I stopped being the hunter now. Like right in that moment, you felt that shift. There is a point where the boar stop, and there's just this silence. One or two of the boar kind of look up. That's if the entire forest is still. No birds, no wind, no nothing. In a flash, almost imperceptible, this blue blur dashes into the clearing. And out just as fast. And only after do you see the spray of blood coming from the boars themselves. Almost all of them. 2 more blurs. Flashes. As the boars all slowly and fall. Slowly then coming out of the brush, you see this see-through, translucent, ethereal, kind of like bluish, grayish glow, but almost ghostly visage, this entire image, this whole form of what appears to be a 10-foot tall, wolf-like, humanoid creature with a skull that's far too big to belong to anything that you've actually seen before. It sniffs in the air. It's ghost-like. It almost like it has non-corporeal. It sniffs in the air for a moment before it takes its paw/claw and reaches up, and the entire arm, paw, claw, fingers, and bits and claws in the end extend and stretch and enlarge until the hand itself is 3 foot in diameter before it starts to grab a boar, pick it up, and bring it closer to itself. And it bites into it again, pulls things out, as it goes down into its gullet and then dissolves and disintegrates into nothingness. As you can see it falling down its throat and then disintegrate into nothingness. Then it puts it back down and it starts growing its other hand and sifting through. And then its head enlarges as it takes another bite. And then its form shrinks down a little bit more before it looks around.
D'accord.
This thing turns to look at you and takes one large step, and you can hear the bones and sinews snapping of the boars beneath its foot, the blood squelching and permeating the forest floor beneath it as it stands over a pile of its prey. And just stares at you.
Are you D'accord?
It cocks its head and looks at you. And licks its teeth. And pulls its jowls back a bit. Starts to advance slowly upon you. Each of the footfalls you just feel are synced up with your heartbeat, as it feels like your heartbeat is sinking lower and lower and lower into your chest as it gets closer and closer. You don't realize how big this thing is. You thought it was far away. It is, or you thought it was closer than it was. It was much farther away. It stands towering above you, and it gets close to you. I assume you have come out of the brush when you do this. The rest of you are still in the brush observing.
I go.
Still,
go-
I'm still
you go
like
out?
hunched down, like as low as I can.
Sure. Are you came out too?
Mhm.
Okay. And you're halfling?
Yeah, I'm still halfling.
Okay, you come out too.
I
This
would
thing makes circuits around you, kind of circles you for a moment and just examines you. It sniffs your jowls, Bastion, and like begins to like lick your whiskers. And then it walks to Osfer, puts one of its nostrils is large enough to fit your entire man bun in it, and it just goes like, it just does that and goes, and you just feel a little bit of snot and a bunch of the air just push down on you, super, super heavy. And then it stops. You said you wanted to do something?
Oh, I was gonna ready my bow.
Okay. You want to draw your bow?
Yeah, they're opting for diplomacy this time.
Okay. And you're trying to do this quiet as possible,
Yes.
correct?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
I want you to roll me, like, the silent fingers check, okay?
I don't know what that would be, but
I'll take a wild guess.
Oh, yeah, fair. 15.
15. Okay, you
Yes.
feel like your bowstring, even though when something stretched, it sometimes makes noises, you do it so slow and imperceptible that you do your best not to make a single sound. You feel as though you've succeeded in this. But you don't know. Neither of you hear her raw bow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it out the ready.
Sure.
Just in case
Pip
they're.
and Len, you see her do this. It takes one more circuit and then it stops. Then it gets down on all fours. It slumps as even the blood and the dust in the area just kind of lives a little shockwave as a ripple among the blood in the forest floor just out as its full weight of this incorporeal, ethereal being lands. And then with its shoulders, boom, 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 slowly starts to trounce back into the wood, over the pile of prey. It stops for a moment before it reaches the edge of this said clearing that the woods have made for it, and looks back, and then looks forward.
I would like to follow. Is it headed back towards the rocks?
That's what it appears to be, yeah.
Yeah, I want to follow.
Yeah, then yes.
Okay, it follows. Do you follow as well?
I put the bow away and follow them behind.
Okay. Are you guys trying to be unseen/stealthy?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
definitely.
Do so, please. Go.
Oh, hey.
24.
Nat 2023.
20.
24.
You guys, whether it be through fear or knowing that this is very important, just something inside of you causes you to be the knight, and you are imperceptible, unseen. It's now no longer the time for games. Serious things are happened. Daddy is mad.
New group name.
Ooh, Wolf Daddy.
Wolf Daddy is mad.
We already know Maeve has a thing for wolfmen. So.
Eventually, this
That's true.
shit. Slay.
Never have I been so offended by something I totally agree with.
Oscar, wait, I can see
Calling
Alex
out
looking
like
at like wolf art, like art of his own character, and being like, I look good. Okay, so you find your way back to the clearing. You follow this thing back to the clearing. You are in full sight, you two.
Yeah, not trying to.
Yeah, of course. Osfer and Sebastian, you are in full sight. You eventually make it back to the area. This thing walks, this ethereal wolf man walks atop the rubble here, or just collection of small boulders. Stands on 2 feet for a moment, glances back at you, takes its large hand and enlarges it yet again to make its thumb and I guess whatever pinky like dew claw finger to reach almost 8 feet between the two claws. That's how big the hand stretches out as the fingers themselves elongate and get like an extra knuckle, and they move even further before the ring finger just reaches into the fabric of like space and tears something out, and the two fingers pull it back like a curtain, and it steps through silently, looks at both of you and stares at you for what seems like the longest 5 seconds you've ever experienced. It's weird. Its eyes are so far apart that it's staring at both of you directly without having to change focus. And its head bowed down, its nose down. And it exhales heavily before it walks in, leaving the curtain somewhat ajar.
We'll keep following.
We go in.
You go in.
Do we notice them following stealthily?
Roll a perception check. You got to beat their stealth checks.
Do we do that at advantage?
Because you can smell them. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I would say I'm more focused on not pissing this thing
Sure,
off.
you
so
got it. Yeah.
I'm gonna let them
My
be
perception
stealthed.
check is 20.
20.
I don't
So
think
who
I
got
gave
20?
everyone a-
You got 20. You noticed Pip.
I
You didn't get 20. You got
Perfect.
better than 20?
Yeah, better.
okay,
I look
so you-
back and I just like, we're gonna go do this thing. just don't try to follow us.
I telepath. Holler if you need anything.
We'll
And
do,
I
buddy.
telepath to you guys. Okay, they're gonna do it on their own.
Okay. Cool.
Oh.
At this point, yeah, actually, Maeve, can you, as they say that, can you please roll an intelligence check for me?
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's what I figure.
Fuck!
Probably no, not a good idea for them to try to sneak in.
I rolled a natural 1. And that brings me to a total of 4.
You're like, yeah, this is a great idea. This is the perfect way to do this.
I really don't want to go in there.
Yeah. I'll say Oz first, since you were cautious and you did want to talk to them. Going through this,
I don't want to talk to them. I want to like motion.
I
like,
understand. I'm sorry.
stay
Communicate
stay put.
to them.
Yeah.
I will say, as you go through this veil, you feel the very similar feeling you felt when you walked through that one pocket, like that
Kurgal's
glade into the copse.
Into the cops. Or into
Kurgal's-
the
Into the copse.
We didn't go in. Maeve was
Yeah,
the only
we
one that
did.
went
Oh,
in.
the cops.
We had to do that when we went into Kurgal's.
so
I
you
went into
don't
the
really
Fey
have anything
one,
to
they went into the
compare it
Wolfy
to.
one.
Well, because they were all the same. They
Yeah.
all had the same feeling. to
Correct.
them.
So Kurgal's hideout.
So I guess it's really not
Would've been the
hard.
same thing.
Yeah, but you don't really know what the cops felt. I'm just saying, like, for the best you can understand it, this feels the same. You are going into some sort of pocket realm.
Yeah.
You are also familiar with how these pocket realms work, is that you have to be invited in order to even enter. You also know that those who have been invited in can invite others in. And that's why it's such a protected thing, is that's why they're very, very picky about who they invite in. That's the feeling that you get as your like body passes through this. But you say stop. You walk through, and the curtain begins to close and drift close behind you. You walk into what looks like a battleground. Trees are strewn about, torn from their stumps, as if something grabbed it and snapped it like a twig, like a sapling from its roots. Claw marks are everywhere. The glade ends in an area that's kind of obscured vision that you can't quite see past through. You can't see the forest through the trees. There is a crack down the center of this glade that ends in almost a bit of a corridor in which cliffs have almost devoured themselves as they fold in on each other. It looks as though this trench that is actually before you has been carved by claws, constantly raking at stone. And the landscape has been marred and scarred by an army of one. At the far end, you see a promontory, almost like a dais of a kind, made of stone that appears to be carved from this marring that has a wilted, gnarled tree on it, like growing from it. And at the base of that tree, you see an individual, a humanoid, sitting cross-legged, hands together in meditation. In monkish robes. What appears to be some sort of vestments of an order of those that practice to harness their ki and become one with themselves and have more self-awareness. But not of any order you recognize, no filigree or iconography that you recognize, and the style is otherworldly. You've never seen anything like this. Either it's archaic or futuristic or of another realm. You don't know. It's just nothing that you've seen before. The individual looks to be human, but it's hard to tell from this distance. Dark complexion, dreads down the back that are held together with some sort of woven vine.
So then, would I have recognized that wolf as an astral projection?
The wolf as you say, astral projection of this wolf doesn't look back as it continues to walk slowly through this trench, and then it starts to pick up speed, and then it starts to gallop on all fours before it looks like as though it's going to attack, as it jumps and reaches as it's about to pounce on this individual, and then gets sucked into this individual.
That was a neat trick.
I'm gonna learn that someday.
You then hear as though the trees are speaking around you. Like torn and dead as they are, the creaking, snapping of them, replete within the voice that you hear kind of pushed. And I mean pushed, like you feel the wind of it at you. Why do you dare?
We were bitten against our will.
Lies.
We seek your assistance.
Korgal sent us to find you.
He too doubted our state, but bid us find you.
There's a moment of pause where the air gets kind of pulled from the area. And there's silence yet again before the trees begin to heal themselves. The trunks begin to get pulled back, almost as if time is reversing itself. As scars and mars of claw marks begin to disappear backwards from the area around, as trees again begin to reassemble themselves, all except for the one gnarled tree that this individual sits at the base of. The trench remains, and so do some others. It appears as though it's doing a little housekeeping now that it has guests. The robes part as another ethereal claw comes from out of the vestments and tears itself free of the individual, like being birthed from its sternum. 1 foot, and then an arm, and then another foot, and then pulls itself out and falls and tumbles to the ground before it regains its composure, gallops back up on the dais and stands behind the individual with its massive hand just resting 2 fingers among the head of the meditating monk. And it gazes at you and it speaks to you with its eyes. I apologize for not being able to speak. It is only in this state that I can prevent it from spreading.
A member of the Ridden worked with a mercenary group. They were digging up the idol.
You speak of the Long Death.
Yes. We interrupted
Where
them
is it now?
with the Wheeled Weaver.
And it punches the tree behind it. The tree looks unharmed. What would have been a wood-shattering blow, tree looks entirely unharmed. As it screams and howls in frustration. And it rakes at the ground twice more before it regains its composure and puts its fingers back upon the head.
There's much turmoil between her people and yours.
Language lack words for what has transpired between us. Was it given willingly?
Yes.
Then they have broke their oath. The Thousand Steel has been broken.
We also witnessed the coming of those. They attacked the crossroads first.
I have been here too long. But I cannot leave.
Can we help in any way?
He looks at you, Osfer. You're still wearing your robes?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. As he gazes, the astral projection wolf tilts his head and gazes at you. But you must earn the right of my blessing. I must remain here, confined, for the world's protection. You are not alone.
Our companions remain outside.
Do you trust them?
With my life.
We have fought deadly foes by their side. We have hunted together.
Good. For I doubt you will survive without their aid. Prove to me that you are worthy. And I will grant you what you wish. And I will do what I can to help you.
What task will prove to you our worthiness?
Reach me, if you can. And a hand goes up and the curtain, rather than just parting, blows wide open like a bay window on a windy night.
See Pip and Pickleball playing patty cake in there.
Oh,
Just waiting.
I'm trying to make conversation. Like, what does little Pinky Boy eat?
It'd be great if you knew his name.
Well, what is his name? I'm close. Pickleball.
Oh, look at that.
Pickleball. There you go.
Yeah,
What?
it's just...
Oh. Hi.
I'm just kind
Need your help.
Okay.
Okay.
With what?
Mage armor.
Mage armor immediately.
Oh, fuck.
Does he just stand there, or is he doing something?
He's waiting for them to come through.
Okay.
He's waiting. Like, I don't know how else to do that narratively. So he's waiting for you to come through. That was his invitation. He's still there. He hasn't like said go yet, if that means anything. You guys walk through?
Oh.
Okay, you go through. If you want to do any prep, now's the time.
I already did, man.
Yeah, you did your thing.
Oh, and I up my ward.
Yeah, you do so by casting the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it automatically, because it's yeah.
Step through gingerly. I don't want to touch the sides of this thing.
Okay, you do so. The hand gets removed from the head and says, "If you die here, is there someone you would prefer to devour your remains?"
Probably Lynn.
I don't know if I could do that.
Very well.
Throw me in the nearest river.
Okay.
What, you're too good to eat your family's blood?
Invisible.
See how it is.
Bast goes invisible. Pip casts an arcane ward upon themselves. Ree tries to make light of the situation. Len is just ready.
I feel like this is like way too Dragon Ball Z, but I just like go from like this to like
You ready? Yeah, the ready monkish stance. You got it.
down. Let's
Ready
do
martial
this.
arts stance. As you are all, give everybody a visual here. As you are all at the edge of this. Let's put you here.
Are
Of
those
this trenchway.
mushrooms I see?
I will get. Did you, Bass? Did you want to stay in your hybrid form?
Well, Bass is
I'll have to get
invisible.
another mini for you, but yeah. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll get that for you next time. That's where we're gonna take our. That's where we're gonna end it today, guys. We'll pick up from here, a bit of a race to the finish, as we pick up with Dark Horse Trial. Thank you guys for everybody for sticking with us, and as always, stay safe out there.
Ow!